Well, let me do something real quick and I'll come back here. Might as well get comfortable. I love this recliner, man. I just love it. Well, anyways, let me, instead of just waiting, might as well just start.
How's it going, guys? It's Dry Fire Faith. For anyone who doesn't know, the Department of Homeland Security has recently created, or is in the works of creating, this thing called the Disinformation Governance Body. And what they're seeking to do, supposedly as of right now, is to prevent the spread of dis and misinformation in lieu of election cycles, the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, and the boogie flu. So finally, after all these years, after all of this time, since early 2019, they've almost followed through with every single thing that was on, what's a good word for it? There was an event planning committee, and it took place in October of 2019, and it wasn't 101. It wasn't, it wasn't the first class. It was the second class, class 201.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the few things that they have yet to do is to jail people who speak freely and exercise their First Amendment right. And yes, I know it is not a right. It's not. It is a restriction placed upon our government. It is something that says the government has no ability to restrict religion, assembly, petition, press, and speech.
But the government does it anyway. The government actually says, "Oh well, fuck that." They don't care about the guidelines. They really don't. Those of you who don't know who Dry Fire Faith, good guy. His everything, all of his videos, his content is very informative. He's very articulate. The dude is like a freaking godsend. Let me tell you, dude. This guy, Dry Fire Faith. If anything, you want to know who's a true patriot? Dry Fire Faith. Dry fire faith. He's a true patriot. But anyways, the government doesn't care. I can sum up the politicians of the government in general in 5 words. Power does what it wants. Pure and simple. Just to dumb it down for you. But anyways, I'll share the link of Dry Fire Face channel. Right. Mike now. Good dude. Very good dude, actually. Chopping up on triple TTT. There's another good dude. All right. This guy, let me tell you, Dry Fire Faith. Awesome dude. What's up, Danny? Anyways.
Yeah, here we are. Many people have told me, and in fact, I've been on the record saying this, been on multiple people's channels, multiple live streams, an innumerable amount of time. And at first, everyone said it's gonna be 2 weeks. Remember, they gotta flatten the curve. And then others were saying, that they won't go more than 30 days. And then they said that they won't go more than 90 days. And I kept telling everyone, none of this is going anywhere. None of this is going anywhere until all of your freedoms that you did have before the onset of this, they're going to make you beg and plead to give them away so that we can have some semblance of normalcy. And, wearing a shame muzzle has gone back and forth. Even here in Texas, at first they said don't, then they said do. Now they're saying you can't make anyone. Here recently, for public transportation, they're saying that you no longer have to wear one for public transportation, and yet there are hit pieces on the news saying, well, when you're in the airport, you have to wear one, but once you're on the plane, you don't have to wear one. Can anyone tell me the sense in this?
There is no sense in it. None. None whatsoever. My honest, like I said, I gave my honest opinion about the coronavirus pandemic. I think it's nothing more than bullshit, really. I'm not saying that the coronavirus isn't real. I'm not saying that COVID-19 is real. I've had a COVID-19 3 times already. Third time was the toughest, actually. Did a lot to my asthma and still feeling the effects of it. It comes down to control. The government, it doesn't matter which side of the political aisle you're on, the political fence you're on, whatever. That's what they want. They crave control. They want to control people. That's just point blank.
I remember when they were saying, there was an article that I did a video on early 2020 where it said that here, even in Texas, that they the state could potentially mandate an inoculation. They could mandate it, but don't worry, because it takes years for an inoculation to be made. Not only does it take years for an inoculation to be made, but we're not even close to that. And then step by step, they've worked it in. And then we had the fracturing, right? The great fracturing, where it was the left versus the right. So in left-leaning states, you got to get poked, you got to get prodded, you got to muzzle yourself. and then in right-leaning states, they said that you had to muzzle yourself at first, and then they backtracked, and they were trying to be your friend, and then they said, oh, no, you don't have to get, a little hokey pokey, the hokey pokey, as NG put it at one point in time. It is the hokey pokey, and it's hocus pocus, in my opinion.
It really is hocus pocus. And an NG, another good dude, tells it like it is. See, that's the thing. You have a bunch of liberals and a bunch of conservatives who go around and they say, "Oh, I'll just tell it like it is." Oh, do you? You tell it like it is, huh? No, you don't. You don't tell it like it is. You're not a real free thinker like I am, like Dry Fire Faith is. You're not a real free thinker like NG and Freedom Inc. The what's his face? I think I can't remember. And Colossal Bigfoot, another free thinker. TLR Inc., another free thinker. Tech TI, awesome dude, tells it like it is.
It's the magic potion. And magically, if you have it, there's nothing to worry about. Oh, wait, no. That's not even correct. Because it works so well that once you get the hokey pokey, even those around you who don't have the hokey pokey can still give you the boogaflu.
The book.
None of this is going anywhere. It's going to continue. It's going to perpetuate. And then they tried taking our minds off of things for a little while, and they still are, with the Ukraine, Russia crisis,
and the Boulder and the other shootings too, and all that kind of stuff. I remember they said, the conservatives say, "Oh, the coronavirus pandemic's going to end after Trump wins re-election in 2020," and he didn't win the re-election in 2020. So there's your answer right there.
Supposedly. And if anyone has a long-term memory, in 2014, there was this group, it was called Svoboda, and they were in the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
They were a political party whose name used to be the Social Nationalist Party. Ring any bells? Like the National Socialist Party? I can't remember who that was. I think it was people who clicked their heels together and tried karate chopping stuff really fast whenever they saw someone that they quote unquote respected, So this group, Svoboda, was put into power by the EU and the US, right? And there were leaked phone calls where the person who was second in command of Svoboda was put into a very high position of power in the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
They were neo-Nazis. That's what they were.
And of course, I believe it's the Ukrainian National Guard that has the, what's it called? The Azov Regiment that has a bunch of white supremacists and neo-Nazis in that regiment. But nobody wants to talk about that for some reason. I don't get that. But Dry Fire Faith, again, tells it like it is. That's the reason why I like him. That's the reason why I follow him. What's going on, Ben? What's up, Brass Tard? Bruh. Just reacting to Dry Fire Faith's newest video called The Freedom Purge. Dude, he said everything 110% right in this video. Everything he said right in this video. Everything. No complaints on my end.
Probably not going to like that I say this, especially now that we have the Ministry of Truth, 1984. Thank you, George Orwell, for predicting so much. And then there again, you also have to think, remember, it's a brave new world. Remember Aldous Huxley? I've brought this up many times. But in the book A Brave New World, if you were to turn anyone down for their sexual advances towards you, then you were being discriminatory. Does that sound familiar? Because women are women, or are they? Now, the world is getting more backwards and more upside down, right? Because the as above, so below, that's what they want. That's what they're bringing in. But before they can do that, before they can have that one world government, what they have to do is they have to make you lose faith in this government, which most everyone already has. There are people on the fringes of the far right and far left that still hold true to these ideals. And when I say far left and far right, I truly mean that. It is the people who are on the Trump train that still believe that he is coming to save them. Do you guys remember when everyone was saying that he was going to fight back against all of this meddling? You got to be careful what you say, right? Because we truly don't have free speech.
But see, the thing is, he didn't really. Well, he fought back. He tried to get the votes recounted, and I believe, I know one state in particular, Arizona. Arizona is one state he tried to get the votes recounted. I can't remember I think it was another state. Other states, actually. I think it was Georgia. Can't remember the other state. I know one state in particular, Arizona, and I think it was Georgia too. So, because I know the red states showed up red and all that. And, the history behind that. The 2020 election was just pure chaos in the midst of a coronavirus pandemic.
And now not only is it YouTube, is it Twitter, is it Facebook, it's going to be our own government. They're criminal. They are criminals, and they will continue to be criminals. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle these people stand on. Remember, I like taking the guns first, due process second.
Mm-hmm.
That was someone on the right, supposedly on the right. Now, I myself have never been, I can't say never, but in my adult life, since I have formulated my own opinions and been out on my own, working with my own two hands and providing for my own family, I have come to my own opinions. And I think that that's healthy for everyone to do instead of just regurgitating what your parents have force-fed to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I have said for a long time that this country is metaphorically and physically diabetic. Now, we have Pepsi and Coke. We have the left and the right. We need to take a step back and drink some water. Biden's asking for another $33 billion.
Hey, I just drank some water. Well, I didn't take a step back. I just sat, I'm sitting down as I was drinking some water, but that's better than nothing. But I completely agree with Dry Fire Faith. I do. It's like the same thing everywhere you go. Like, especially when it comes to trucks, oh no, you gotta like Dodge. Oh no, you gotta like Ford. No, you gotta like Chevy. Oh no, you gotta like Nissan or Toyota. Personally, I love Toyota trucks, Dodge trucks, and Chevy trucks. Ford trucks, I can't really say much about the Ford trucks because I own a Ford 1999 Ford Ranger XLT, but it needs a new transmission put into it, and that's going to break the bank. But it's like, no, you got to pick and choose which side you want to be on. No, I don't have to pick and choose what side I want to be on. I probably should have just bought a freaking Toyota Tacoma 4-wheel drive and wouldn't be in this situation right now.
$3 billion to help Ukraine. Stop. This is ridiculous. We are not the world police. It is not up to you, the American tax cattle, to have to foot the bill for every injustice around the world. At a certain point in time, you yourself and they themselves must pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They must face what is at their door. We are full of narcissistic and childlike behavior whenever I turn on the TV and I see this nation. Inflation is a real thing. My wife went to get groceries the other day and she was sending me pictures of all of the things that are missing from the shelves. And no one's talking, well, hardly anyone is talking about China shutting down all their ports and all of the people being locked in their homes and starving in Shanghai and then throwing away bundles and bundles of actual fresh produce where nothing is wrong with it. This is a fact. This has been shown to us. But why is it being shown to us? China is the most restrictive government that is on this planet, I thought. So how are they allowing all of this information to get to us? They're allowing it to happen because every government must look like they are inept, incapable. Soon, this nation, I think, will either digress into a civil war or be pulled into a third world war. Will it be nukes? Will it be EMPs? Will it be full-scale invasion? Will it be bread lines and shopping carts full of money for loaves of bread? Whatever it is, this nation is falling. And there's diddly that anyone's doing about it. Because everyone is still so tied up in the left and the right. My team, my team, my team, my team. It's times like this where I'm reminded of Treebeard from Lord of the Rings. And yes, I'm a nerd. I'm absolutely a nerd. I'm not going to hold that back. I'm telling you.
I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, too. I'm also the Hobbit fan as well. For those of you wondering, for those of you in the back, I am a Lord of the Rings fan, Lord of the Rings, and the Hobbit fan. Go ahead, call me a nerd. At least I actually like something. But anyways.
Right now, I'm on nobody's side because nobody is on my side. God bless you guys. Read Mark chapter 13 and tell me that that is not a play-by-play of what we are going through right now. Famines, pestilence, right? Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. The Father will betray the Son unto the death, right? We're going to be brought before councils and rulers. And at this point, it seems childlike to try and rail against it. What are we doing anymore? I've been on here for I don't know how many years. I've made I don't know how many videos. And even right now, I feel like I'm regurgitating what I've said before.
What he said about a Bible verse is in reference to Revelation. Pestilence, war, in reference to the 4 horsemen. The white rider, the red rider, the pale rider. I think what was the other? I can't remember. But they stand for, something like famine, pestilence, war, you name it. Personally, when it comes to that Christian stuff, don't like it. Don't want nothing to do with it. People said that the coronavirus pandemic is basically, They said we're in the middle of revelation right now. Do I agree with those people? No, I don't. I just don't. But everything else that Dry Fire Faith said in this video called the Freedom Purge, I agree with them 110%.
And yet, every time I turn on YouTube, the bulk of what I'm seeing from people that I used to follow almost every day is nothing but drama. It's gotcha journalism. It's shock and awe, trying, oh, look at this is the end, we're all gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's us picking each other apart. And I know it may sound weird coming from me, especially, seeing how one of the last things that I did before I ta-ta'd for a little while was tear down, now I can't remember that guy's name.
CRS Firearms, that's his YouTube name. I think somebody let you know about that, but hold on. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say this for those of you who don't know, in reference to what he's talking about, CRS Firearms. Dry Fire Faith and CRS Firearms actually had a debate in a live stream. I think it was last year. But throughout the live stream, it was Matt Hoover, aka CRS Firearms, who interrupted Dry Fire Faith throughout the whole live stream. He didn't have a solid argument to counter Dry Fire Faith's argument. And lo and behold, Dry Fire Faith won. So that's that. And then earlier this year, Dry Fire Faith, not Dry Fire Faith, CRS Firearms was arrested by the U.S. Marshals because of, I forgot what he called it, something lightning link, whatever, what it is, auto key card. And everybody came to CRS Firearms aid, gave him like $100,000+ well, sorry, $100,000+ in a GoFundMe page. While nobody didn't give a damn about what happened to Justin Ervin when he was arrested for the same damn thing. And those people say, oh, we're in this together. We're a 2A community. No, we're not. Just like the liberals when they say, we're in this together in reference to the pandemic. No, we're not. We're not in this together. Seriously. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Matt from Coloma Resales. What the hell is that guy's channel? You guys know who I'm talking. I can't even remember the damn channel anymore. And even he is caught up in all of the things that he said that I was going to get caught up in. What he was trying to throw me under the bus for, and yet it's going to perpetuate. It's going to continue. All of this is not going anywhere. They're pinning us in. They're driving us apart, and they're separating us. It's what you do in a paddock, what you do in a corral.
Prime example, what they're doing with the, insurrectionists because of January 6th. I mean, that's what they're doing, trying to pick them apart.
They're about to start gelding people. I mean, chemical castration. You've now got birth control for men. What do you think that's going to do? What are the long-term side effects of that? What are the long-term side effects of that? We still don't know. And it just seems like everyone is all too willing to fight amongst ourselves as opposed to standing up and trying to make a difference, as opposed to trying to draw the attention of others. Not everyone, you don't have to agree with protest. I don't think that by protesting my grievances unto my elected officials, that it will do anything. That's not the purpose of protesting, in my opinion. The purpose of protesting, I think, would be to open eyes of those around you. And that I really did think that for the longest time. And now at this point, it doesn't matter because no one's going to open their eyes. Everyone's got the
I see how can I say this? Protesting in my opinion, Dry Fire Faith, is to bring about change. I mean, isn't that the goal? Should that be the goal? That should be the goal, actually, to bring about change. Defund the police failed like bad, pretty bad. Pro 2A rallies, pro 2A groups, they failed. See, the thing is, some of those people who go out and protest and they say to people like me, and they say, "Well, what have you done?" Like I said in one of my previous videos, you know what that tells me? Those people were there, who say to me, "Well, where were you?" They were there for their own ego. They were there for a pat on the back, attaboy, and all that kind of stuff. They weren't there to achieve a goal, to bring about change, to bring about freedom and all that kind of stuff, to restore, preserve rights and all that. They were there for recognition. They wanted a pat on the back, a handshake, attaboy kind of deal. They weren't there for the goal. They were just there for their own egos. And that's just my honest opinion.
The blinders on. And pretty soon, no one's going to care about all of these things that we've been talking about because when you're starving, when your child's starving, when you can't afford to fill up your car to go to work, when you can't afford to have lights on, when you can't afford to have a phone to entertain yourself, all of this is going to be a distant memory. They'll put the squeeze on all of us. And all that we're going to want is what we had before, but no freedom. They're going to do what they're doing. They're going to continue to go down the path that they're going until you and I give up every last little bit of freedom that we still have for right now. It's not very much. It's not going to take long. God bless you.
Our rights are being chipped away as we speak. Like nobody's business.
You guys. And think about a plan to pass on this line of communication, not my information, but pass on a line of, open up avenues of communication is what I'm trying to say. We have to find common ground somewhere. And if we don't, then we're all doomed. Your child, my child, Jim Bob down the street, it's going to get dark. It's going to get dark quick.
I think some of those bridges have already been burnt, honestly, by the people who are against you and I, Dry Fire Faith. Prime example. Remember when Zombie Farmer said that your faith is lukewarm? He burnt that bridge. He did. He wants to say to people like you and I and Freedom Inc. that we're cockroaches. And yet he's one of those doom and gloom, shock and awe, fear porn preppers. And that's on him. Really, that's on him. That's just my honest opinion. But yeah, I agree with you, Dry Fire Faith. I agree with you 110%.